Close your eyes for a second. Imagine stepping into a time machine, the sounds of dial-up internet buzzing in your ears, the flicker of a tube TV lighting up the room, and the smell of freshly opened CDs filling the air. You're back in the 90s, a time when every moment felt like an adventure. And everything from the music we listened to the gadgets we couldn't live without carried a sense of magic and wonder. The world felt simpler, yet somehow more exciting. Now, let me take you on a journey to relive those unforgettable memories. As we walk down memory lane, you'll see how much has changed, but also how much of that era still lingers in our hearts. Stick with me until the end, because trust me, you're going to want to remember every moment of this trip. Let's kick things off with one of the most advanced technologies of the time. Something that, even after all these years, still carries that nostalgic feeling we can't shake off. Oh yeah, the good all-tube TVs. Back in the 90s, the TV wasn't just a piece of technology. It was the heart of the home, the place where we'd all gather as a family, where we experienced the magic of our favorite shows, and where those vibrant commercials became a part of our everyday lives. Who doesn't remember those endless afternoons? Watching Friends or Full House with the TV buzzing with that unmistakable static sound when you powered it on, or that classic off-air hum. And let's not even talk about those endless channel flips with that bulky, clunky remote, or worse yet, when the buttons on the TV didn't work, and you had to get up and change the channel manually. Tube TVs were big, bulky, and heavy, but they had their own kind of magic. They connected us to a world of imagination and adventure, turning the living room into the stage for our biggest memories. Every image, every show, seemed more vibrant when it was displayed on that fuzzy screen, right? Today, with our super thin 4K TVs, it feels like we've stepped into the future. But let's be real, nothing beats that sound of the tube warming up and the glow of that screen that made even cartoons come to life. Those tube TVs. Who would have thought something so simple could carry so many memories, and above all, so much meaning? Now, let's take a step further into the world of cutting-edge technology of the time, where home computing was just starting to become a reality for most of us. Yes, I'm talking about those iconic desktop computers with CRT monitors. Back in the 90s, the desktop computer was nothing short of a marvel. It was the machine that opened up new worlds for us, a gateway to the digital age. Whether it was for school, work, or just fun, those bulky monitors with their deep, heavy screens were the windows through which we first explored the internet. Remember dial-up internet? The sound of that connection was a signal that the digital universe was about to open up, but only after what felt like an eternity of waiting. And those screens, big, heavy, and full of that classic flicker. It wasn't just the size, it was the way they captured your attention, drawing you into the world of pixelated images and early video games. The mouse was your trusty sidekick, and the keyboard felt like a whole new language. It wasn't just about function, It was about the experience learning to navigate through those early operating systems, downloading files that took forever, and getting lost in the magic of Windows 95 or AOL today. With sleek laptops and touchscreens, it's hard to imagine how revolutionary those CRT monitors were. But back then, those machines were the future. And they opened doors we hadn't even realized existed. They were more than just tools. They were the beginning of a whole new world. As we continue exploring the evolution of screens, let's move from the digital world to the cinematic magic that brought the theater to our living rooms. We're talking about VHS tapes and VCRs. In the 90s, the VHS tape was our window to the movies and shows we loved. It wasn't just about watching content, it was about experiencing it. We'd rush to the video store to rent our favorite films or record shows we didn't want to miss. And let's not forget the ritual of rewinding that tape before returning it, something you'd never think twice about today. But back then, it was just part of the process. The VCR itself was like a treasure chest, a big black box that sat proudly under the TV, ready to bring those VHS tapes to life. Pop a tape in, hit play, and you were transported to a world of adventure, romance, or drama. The grainy, often imperfect quality of those tapes somehow added to the charm, making the experience feel even more personal. The anticipation before pressing play, the slight jitter as the tape began, the joy of pressing stop at just the right moment, it was a whole ritual. Today, with streaming services and digital downloads, the VHS tape feels like a relic of the past. But back then, those tapes and VCRs were the lifeblood of our entertainment. The VHS era was a defining part of our childhoods, and for many, it was the first taste of home entertainment on demand. Feeling that rush of nostalgia? You're not alone. These memories are bringing you back to the good old days. Imagine reliving even more of them. Okay? Dive deeper into the world of the 90s and beyond. Hit that subscribe button now, and let's keep the nostalgia alive together. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. As we continue to dive deeper into the world of nostalgic tech, let's shift our focus from screens to sound, because every great memory deserves its own soundtrack, right? Enter the iconic CD and cassette tape sound systems. In the 90s, having a home sound system was a rite of passage. The powerful boom of a stereo system with a CD player and cassette deck was music to our ears, literally. For the first time, we could play our favorite albums, mixtapes, and of course, those custom-recorded mixtapes that were a symbol of friendship, love, and nostalgia. The CD player, with its shiny discs that seemed to reflect a new, digital world, was a game changer. No more rewinding or worrying about tape tangles. You simply popped in a CD and boom, instant access to your favorite songs. But then, there was the beloved cassette tape. You'd carefully insert the tape, hit play, and let it spin, knowing the sweet sound of a perfectly recorded mix was on its way. The thrill of recording your own tapes off the radio. Hearing that DJ's voice right before your song came on, or carefully pressing pause at just the right moment, it was an experience in itself. Today, with Bluetooth speakers and streaming music, it's hard to imagine that feeling of excitement as you popped in a new CD or pressed record on your cassette player. But in the 90s, those systems were the heart and soul of every party, every road trip, and every moment spent listening to our favorite tunes. Now, as we dive deeper into the tech of the 90s, let's talk about something that seemed to hold the key to the digital world back then: the mighty floppy disks and the shiny CDs. These small, unassuming objects were essential to our computing experience and served as the storage heroes of the era. Floppy disks were the first taste of portability when it came to saving files. Those little squares of plastic held only a few megabytes, practically nothing, compared to what we're used to today, but at the time, they were revolutionary. We would carefully slide them into the drive, and suddenly, we had a world of school, projects, personal files, or game saves right at our fingertips. The classic click sound when the disk went into the drive felt like opening a door to another world. And of course, the anxiety of the disk full message: how many of us had to juggle between disks to fit everything we needed. Then came CDs, which promised the future of digital storage. They weren't just for music. They became our primary means of transferring files, storing data, and even playing games. Who could forget those shiny silver discs that would magically transport us to a new world with just a pop into the drive? Whether it was installing software, burning a mix of our favorite songs, or discovering new computer games, the CD made it all possible. Those first CD burning sessions felt like we were masters of technology, creating our own little digital masterpieces. Today, with cloud storage and USB drives, these disks and floppy disks may seem like relics of a simpler time. But in the 90s, they were the backbone of everything: our digital lives, our music libraries, and our sense of what was possible in the digital world. Now, let's rewind to a time when the sound of a phone ringing wasn't just a notification, it was an event. Yes, I'm talking about the iconic landline phones. The ones with the coiled cords and those rotary dials that made calling someone feel like a ritual. Those phones weren't just devices for communication, they were a part of the atmosphere of the house. The excitement of picking up the receiver, holding that heavy handset to your ear, and hearing the comforting click as you press the receiver into place. But the real magic, the rotary dial, the satisfying whoosh of your finger gliding across the numbers, slowly and deliberately, as you dialed a number. The anticipation of each turn, the feeling of progress with each full rotation. It was a completely different experience than today's instant dialing. And let's not forget those classic phones with the long, coiled cord, giving you just enough space to pace around the room, but never quite enough to escape the confines of the conversation. You could stretch it across the kitchen, around the corner, but eventually, the cord would wrap itself around you like an affectionate, yet restrictive, embrace. Today, with our smartphones that let us call anyone, anywhere, with a single tap. It's hard to remember how these phones made every call feel more personal. But back then, picking up the receiver felt like stepping into another world, one where every dial, every conversation carried with it a certain sense of importance. There was an art to it, an elegance, and a connection that smartphones just can't replicate. Thank you for taking this nostalgic trip with us. If these memories brought a smile to your face, don't forget to subscribe so you can join us for more trips down memory lane. Hit the bell icon and stay tuned for more content that'll take you back to the good old days. We've got so much more to relive together. See you in the next one.